Well, hey, Vantage Point Church. Man, welcome to a brand new year. Man, I cannot tell you how excited I am about 2022 and all that God has in store for us as a church, but also as a people. Man, God has been just speaking so clearly to me and to our leaders just about what it means for us to be God's people and not to just be kind of mediocre type people for God in his kingdom, but to be healthy, on fire, excited people about what God is doing and how God is working and how big God is and what he wants to do in our lives. Man, this next year, God has given us an emphasis to focus on, and that emphasis is spiritual health. Man, what does it look like for us to focus on how we are doing spiritually as a people? Man, we are so good at thinking about, man, how we're doing physically and our physical health. And we go to the doctor and we get our blood pressure taken and we discover, man, how well we're doing physically. We also think about our mental health and our emotional health. But what about our spiritual health? What about what God has instilled in us? And really asking the question, man, am I healthy when it comes to my spiritual well-being? And God cares about those kind of things. And so, church, we care about those kind of things. And we are going to be focusing on that. For about the next 10 weeks, man, we are going to be setting our minds on, man, what are these essential things that God's word calls us to show us what it means to be a healthy people. But here's the thing. Before we jump into that, we're doing something that we have never done before as a church. We are going to be fasting together as a body. Now, fasting, what is that? What does not eating have to do with our spiritual health? And what does, man, not doing things and abstaining from things have to do with our spiritual health? Man, it has everything to do with how we position ourselves to hear God in some big ways that challenge us so that we know how he's wanting us to grow. So church, this Sunday, I'm going to be teaching on what fasting is and what it has to do with all of this and how we can do that as a people. So there are going to be some biblical teachings. There's going to be some real just instructional teaching on what fasting even looks like. But here's the thing, man, we need to come together to hear that so that we as a body can understand what that means, man, set in our minds what it's going to look like for us for the next 3 weeks as we fast together. But also what it means to commit to one another to do this as we hear God, as we set our minds on him, our hearts on him, intentionally wanting to experience his power in some mighty ways. So church, I'm encouraging you this Sunday, be there 10 o'clock a.m. At the school and invite somebody so that other people can experience this as well. I cannot wait to see what God does in us and through us, in you and through you in some big and powerful ways. Let's jump into this season with everything that we have starting this Sunday and then beyond. Let's go, church.